Welcome all. I am Nirmala, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Government College of Engineering, Tanjavur. In this lecture, we are going to discuss numerical methods. The code is MA8491 and we are going to discuss Unit 1, Solution of Equations and Eigenvalue Problems. This is the topic of Unit 1, Solution of Equations and Eigenvalue Problems. The first section is Solution of Algebraic and Transcendental Equations. In that we are going to discuss fixed point iteration method and Newton-Raphson method. Now, an algebraic equation is an equation of the form a0 x power n plus a1 x power n minus 1 plus etc. an equal to 0. So, this is the equation of algebraic form where a0, a1, etc. an are real numbers or constants, and the condition is a0 is not equal to 0. If a0 equal to 0, then the power of the equation reduces to n minus 1. So, we are considering an equation of degree n. So, the first term a0 is not equal to 0 and this n should be greater than or equal to 1. For example, x cube minus 2x square minus 9x plus 18 equal to 0 is an example of algebraic equation of degree 3. Here the power is 3, so the degree is 3. So, transcendental equation. These are equations involving exponential, logarithmic, trigonometric or hyperbolic functions. That is, in the equation we will be having exponential term or logarithmic term or trigonometric, sometimes hyperbolic functions. For example, 4x minus e power x equal to 0. Here we are having exponential term. So, this is an example of transcendental equation. And another example, 3x equal to cos x plus 1. Here we are having trigonometric function. And logarithmic equation. In the third example, consider x log to the base 10x minus 1.2. So, this is an equation involving logarithmic. So, these are the examples of some of the examples of transcendental equations. Now, root of an equation, any value for which the equation f of x equal to 0, if the value satisfies the equation, then that value is said to be the root of the equation. For example, if we are having an equation f of x equal to 0 and if we solve that equation, we will be having the values of x. And again, if we substitute the value of x in the given equation, if we are getting the final answer as 0, then this a satisfies the given equation, which is said to be the root or solution of the equation f of x equal to 0. In geometrically, we can say the point at which a curve intersects the x-axis is said to be the root of the equation. The curve joining or cut at the x-axis, then that point is said to be the root of the given equation f of x equal to 0. Now, fundamental theorem of algebra. Every equation has a root which may be real or imaginary. The root may be real root or an imaginary root. Note that every algebraic equation of degree n has exactly n roots. If we are having an equation of degree n, then the roots of the equation are n in numbers which may be real or imaginary. The number and nature of the roots of the transcendental equation are not known. Since this is a transcendental, it has cos term or logarithmic term or hyperbolic function. It is not known directly. If f of x is continuous in the interval a comma b, that is if the function is continuous in a particular interval, and if f of a and f of b are of opposite signs, then the equation will have at least one real root between a and b. For example, if you are having an equation f of x, and if we substitute some point f of a and f of b, if f of a is negative and f of b is positive, then there exists a root between these two terms a and b. So between a and b, we have the real root. At least one real root between a and b. This is the fundamental theorem of algebra. So every equation has a root which may be real or imaginary, and the important point is an algebraic equation of degree n has exactly n roots. The nature of the transcendental equations are not known, and if f of x is continuous in the interval, and if we substitute any two roots or values in the given function, and if f of a and f of b are of opposite signs, then the equation will have at least one real root between a and b. So next we are going to see iteration method or fixed point iteration method. That is, we will be given an algebraic equation. We are going to find the root of the equation by the method iteration. Now to find the real root of the equation f of x equal to 0, we rewrite it as x is equal to phi of x. So some algebraic or transcendental equation will be given. We have to rewrite in terms of x equal to phi of x. This is the first step. And since from equation 1 we are writing equation 2, the equations 1 and 2 are equivalent so that their roots are same. Now the root of the equation 2 is the point of intersection of the curves y equal to x and y equal to phi of x, and this point is said to be the fixed point. The root which satisfies the equation 2 is the intersection of the curve y equal to x and y equal to some function phi of x. Note that we can apply the iteration method only when modulus of phi dash of x is less than 1. We will be given an equation f of x. From that equation, we will rewrite x in terms of some function of x, and to check the condition, phi dash of x, modulus of phi dash of x should be less than 1. If this condition is satisfied, then we can apply iteration method. So now find the real root of the equation cos x equal to 3x minus 1, correct to 3 decimal places using iteration method. Here we are given a transcendental equation which involves trigonometric function and variable x. So write the given function as f of x equal to cos x, which is equal to 3x minus 1. So given equation is cos x equal to 3x minus 1. Therefore our given function is, take these terms to the left side, cos x minus 3x plus 1 is our f of x. Now we have to check at which point f of a and f of b are of opposite signs. Okay, since this is given in terms of angle, we are substituting f of 0. In the place of x, replace 0. So cos 0 minus 3 times 0 plus 1. So cos 0 is 1 minus 0 plus 1, which is equal to 2. Therefore, f of 0 equal to 2, which is positive. And substitute the angle f of pi by 2. In the place of x, replace pi by 2. So cos pi by 2 minus 3 times pi by 2 plus 1. So cos 90 is 0 minus 3 pi by 2 plus 1, which is a negative value. So f of minus pi by 2 is negative. Since f of 0 is positive and f of pi by 2 is negative, this is positive value and f of pi by 2 is negative value. We can say that there exists a root lies between 0 and pi by 2. So a root lies between 0 and pi by 2. Now we are going to rewrite the given equation in terms of phi of x. So given equation is cos x equal to 3x minus 1. So 3x is equal to cos x plus 1, or x is equal to 1 by 3 times cos x plus 1. So this is given here, x is equal to 1 by 3 cos x plus 1, which is our phi of x. Now we have to find phi dash of x. So differentiating phi of x, we get 1 by 3 constant. Differentiation of cos x is minus sin x. Differentiation of plus 1 is 0. Now take modulus of phi dash of x. So modulus of minus 1 minus becomes plus. So 1 by 3 modulus sin x. And if we substitute any value between 0 and pi by 2 in this expression, we get the value less than 1. So any point between 0 and 1, if we substitute here, we get less than 1. Therefore, modulus phi dash of x is less than 1. So we can apply iteration method. Hence, the iteration method can be applied, and we start with the initial value x naught equal to 0. Since the root lies between 0 and pi by 2, so in between those two values, we should take our initial approximation x naught as 0. So in the given phi of x, in this term x is equal to, we have taken x as phi of x, which is 1 by 3 cos x plus 1. So this is our equation. In this equation, substitute the value of x naught. Therefore, x becomes x1. x1 equal to phi of x naught, which is equal to 1 by 3 cos x naught plus 1. So 1 by 3 cos x naught is 0 plus 1. So 1 by 3 cos 0 plus 1. So cos of 0 divided by 3. Cos of 0, 1. So 2 by 3. 2 by 3 gives 0.6667. So this is the value of x1. So the value of x1 is 0.6667. So now substitute x1 in x is equal to phi of x. We get the value of x2. So x2 is equal to phi of x1, which is 1 by 3 cos of. So in this expression, we should substitute in this expression x2 equal to phi of x1, which is 1 by 3 cos of x1 plus 1. So 1 by 3 cos of 0.6667 plus 1, which is 0.5953. So this is the value of x2. So the value of x2 is 0.5953. Now substitute x2 again in this expression. So we get x3. So the value of x3 is 0.6093. Now substitute x3 in our expression. X is equal to phi of x, which is 1 by 3 cos x plus 1. So now if we substitute x3, we get x4, and if we substitute x4, we get x5, and if we substitute x5, we get x6. So we should continue this procedure. This is said to be our iteration method. Now the value of x5 and x6 are approximately equal. 0.6072 and 0.6071, which are approximately equal. So we can stop our iteration here. x5, x6 are almost the same. Therefore, the root is 0.607, correct to 3 decimal places. So the root of the equation is 0.607, which should be between 0 and pi by 2. So this is our important point. So the root lies between 0 and pi by 2, which is 0.607. Now consider this problem. Find a real root of 2x minus log to the base 10x equal to 7, correct to 4 decimal places using iteration method. Here also we are given transcendental equation. Now write the given expression f of x equal to 2x minus log x to the base 10 minus 7. Now we have to find one positive and one negative value, that is f of a and f of b, which should be of opposite signs. So if we substitute f of 1, we get negative value, and f of 2, we get negative value, and if we substitute in the place of x3, we get minus 1.4471, which is a negative value. And now substitute x is equal to 4, we get, in the place of x replace 4, we get 8 minus log 4 minus 7, which is equal to 8 minus 0.602 minus 7, which is 0.398, which is a positive value. Since f of 3 and f of 4 are of opposite signs, the root lies between 3 and 4. So the root of this given equation lies between 3 and 4. Now rewrite the given equation as x is equal to phi of x. So we should write in this format. So the given equation is f of x is equal to 2x minus log x to the base 10 minus 7. So we should write in terms of x. So 2x is equal to log x to the base 10 plus 7, or x is equal to 1 by 2 log x to the base 10 plus 7. So now this is our phi of x. Our phi of x is 1 by 2 log x to the base 10 plus 7. Okay. So differentiate this phi of x, we get phi dash of x, 1 by 2 constant. If we differentiate log x, we get 1 by x into log x to the base e. Differentiating 7, we get 0. Now log 10 to the base e is 0.4343. Now in between 3 and 4, if we take any values and substitute here in the place of x and replace to the value 0.4343 for log 10, we get phi dash of x is less than 1. So any value 3.1 or 3.2, 3.08, 3.9, so any value between 3 and 4, if we substitute in phi dash of x, the value is less than 1. Okay. So modulus of phi dash of x is less than 1, hence we can apply iteration method. Okay, the root is nearer to 4 since this f of 4 is less than f of 3. So we take initial approximation nearer to 4. Therefore, our x naught here is 3.6. The initial value here is 3.6. Now substitute x naught in phi of x. So our x is phi of x is equal to 1 by 2 log x to the base 10 plus 7. Now this is our expression. In this expression, we should substitute the value of x naught. We get x1. Okay. So x1 equal to 1 by 2 log to the base 10. 3.6 is our x naught plus 7. After solving, we get 3.77815. Now substitute x1 again in this expression. We get x2. So x2 is 3.78863. Now substitute the value of x2 in this expression. We get x3 3.78924, and substitute the value of x3. We get 3.78927. Also the value of x3 and x4 are almost the same, almost equal, and if we take the value correct to 4 decimal places, the final answer is 3.7892 approximately. So the root of the given equation is 3.7892. Next method, Newton-Raphson method. So till now we saw about iteration method. Next we are moving on to Newton-Raphson method. Here also we are going to find the root of the given equation. Let x naught be the approximate root of the given expression. We assume x naught. And if we substitute the value in this expression, x1 equal to x naught minus f of x naught by f dash of x naught, we get x1. Now substitute x1 again in this expression, that is x2 equal to x1 minus f of x naught by f dash of x1. The given equation is f of x equal to 0. We should differentiate this f of x, we get f dash of x. Okay. Now after finding f of x and f dash of x, we take the approximate value as x naught and substitute in this first expression, we get x1. Now substituting x1 in this expression, we get x2. Similarly, the procedure goes on. Hence, the general formula is xn plus 1 equal to xn minus f of xn by f dash of xn. So this is the general format for Newton-Raphson method. N takes the value 0, 1, 2 and so on. So xn plus 1 equal to xn minus f of xn by f dash of xn. So this is known as Newton-Raphson formula or Newton's iteration formula. Now we will see a problem. Find the positive root of x power 4 minus 10 equal to 0, correct to 3 decimal places. Now the given equation is f of x equal to x power 4 minus x minus 10. Now find f dash of x. We can find in the first step itself, f dash of x is 4x cube minus 1. This is our f dash. We will use this in our Newton-Raphson formula. Okay. Now we are going to find a root which lies between the points A and B. Now the given equation is f of x is equal to x power 4 minus x minus 10. Now if we substitute x is equal to 1, f of 1 is 1 power 4 minus 1 minus 10, which is minus 10, which is a negative value. Now substitute x is equal to 2. We get f of 2 as 2 power 4 minus 2 minus 10, which is 16 minus 2 minus 10, which is 14 minus 10, 4, which is a positive value. So since f of 1 and f of 2 are of opposite signs, the root lies between 1 and 2. Okay. So we take the initial value x naught as 2. In between 1 and 2, we take the value x naught as 2. Since here modulus f of 1 is less than modulus is greater than modulus f of 1 is greater than modulus f of 2. Since 10 is greater than 4, we take the initial value nearer to 4, that is nearer to 2, f of 2 or equal to 2. So the initial value x naught here is 2. Okay. Now f dash is 4x cube minus 1. Substitute in the Newton-Raphson formula. First replace n is equal to 0. In this expression, if we replace n equal to 0, we get x1 equal to x naught. Since n equal to 0, 0 plus 1 equal to x naught minus f of x naught by f dash of x naught. Okay, so this is our first approximation of Newton's Raphson formula, and x naught value we have taken as 2, and so replace in the place of x naught 2 minus f of 2 divided by f dash of 2. Now substitute the values of f of 2 and f dash of 2. So f of 2 we have found as 4. So in the first step itself we have found f of 2 as 4. Now find f dash of 2. That is f dash of x is 4x cube minus 1. So 4 into 2 cube minus 1, which is 4, 8 minus 1, 32 minus 1, which is 31. So f dash of 2 is 31. So 2 minus 4 by 31, which is equal to 1.871 is the value of x1. So this is the value of x1. Now substitute n equal to 1 in the Newton-Raphson formula. We get the value of x2. So Newton-Raphson formula is xn plus 1 equal to xn minus f of xn divided by f dash of xn. So in the place of n, replace 1, we get x2 equal to x1 minus f of x1 by f dash of x1. Substitute the value of x1, f of x1 and f dash of x1. So this is our x1 value. Now f of x value, x power 4 minus x minus 10. Now our f of x is x power 4 minus x minus 10. So substitute it here, and f dash of x is 4x cube minus 1. So this expression is substituted in the denominator, and after solving this we get 1.856. So this is the value of x2. Now put n is equal to 2 in the Newton-Raphson formula. We get x3 equal to x2 minus f of x2 by f dash of x2. So substitute the values of x2, f of x2 and f dash of x2. And after solving this, we get 1.856 is the value of x3. Now consider x2 and x3. Those values are equal. Hence, the root of the given expression is 1.856. Okay. So, the Newton-Raphson method, we should use this formula. This is very important concept. So, in this formula, if we substitute the values of 0, 1, 2, 3 for n, we can obtain the first approximation, second approximation and so on. And when the values of x2 and x3 or x3 and x4 are equal, we can stop the iteration. Thank you.